Hey BooTube! This is my part 2 video for Arrow Season 5. Sorry, I was eating earlier and I think that was like a mini burp. Anyway, this is my part 2 video of Arrow Season 5, Episode 23, titled Lian, which is the Season 5 finale. I left off with Felicity, Thea, Curtis, and Samantha, who managed to get to Chase's plane, thankfully with the help of Malcolm, who seemingly killed himself, and Boomerang, and a couple of the little goons that were with Boomerang, when, if you guys remember, Thea stepped on a landmine beforehand. Malcolm took her place, told them to run, and, Boomerang and the goons showed up, and Malcolm seemingly, apparently, killed himself and Boomerang and those little goons because he took his foot off. We're assuming took his foot off the landmine because, if you guys remember, Boomerang got really close to Malcolm Merlin where he was standing, I'm guessing because, like I said in the previous video, Boomerang had no idea that Malcolm was on a landmine, because if he knew, he would not have gotten that close to Malcolm Merlin. And, pretty much when Felicity, Thea, Curtis, and Samantha were running off into the woods, we hear an explosion. We kind of see it a little bit, and we're naturally assuming that Malcolm seemingly killed himself and Boomerang, and those goons that were with him. But anyway, where I left off in the last video is Felicity, Thea, Curtis, and Samantha do manage to get to the plane, but Felicity and Curtis managed to find out that the entire island of Lian is rigged with C4, like literally the entire island, C4 everywhere. And they also find out that the C4 will explode if Chase dies. So pretty much he's like a death switch, well, like a kill switch. There you go. Chase is pretty much the kill switch. You kill Chase, the C4 triggers, the whole island explodes, right? Anyway, back to John, Renee, Dinah, Quentin, and Oliver. Apparently, oh shoot, remember when Nyssa pretty much pretty much split up from Oliver and Slade before Slade punches Oliver and betrays him and everything? Nyssa, God, from what I remember, Oliver apparently tells the team that he's with, John, Renee, Dinah, and Quentin, that shit. What happened though? All I know is that apparently he has, remember that little device thing that Curtis had to help with Dinah's powers in the previous episode? He went to her house to give it to her. He ended up getting captured. Yeah, Oliver had it because apparently the room that John, Renee, Dinah, and Quentin were in, there was like a little device hanging on a pillar nearby that pretty much dampened out Dinah's power, so she couldn't use a canary cry. And Oliver, when they show up and they're like alone because Black Siren left, Oliver manages to give that very device to Dinah to help pretty much use her powers despite the dampener being there, right? And so we see Dinah using her canary cry to break the chains, so John, Renee, Dinah, Quentin, and Oliver get set free. But of course, the canary cry is heard throughout the damn place, and Talia hears it. She's with her goons, and she's like, oh my god, the prisoners. But as she's about to turn around, there is Nyssa, and the long-awaited Al Ghul daughter fight has begun, because Nissa's like, we have a lot to catch up on, sister. And I was like, oh, you don't know how much I really wanted to see two Al Ghuls in one place. The only time I have ever seen two of Ra's al Ghul's not daughters. The only time I've ever seen two of Ra's al Ghul's kids in one room, one show or movie, was this one animated movie. Do you guys know that one Batman movie? It's definitely a recent one. Well, not recent, but you know what I mean. It's pretty much a Batman animated movie of when Batman first meets his son, Damian. And when you first see Damian in the animated movie, I think it was like the son of Batman. He's with his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul. You see Talia there. But then you see a dude there, and if you guys are fans of the comics, or you're not, but you did research, you would have noticed that one of the people there standing with Talia, Damian, and Ra's al Ghul was this one dude, and spoiler alert if you guys did not see the movie, he's pretty much the first one that gets shot and killed he gets shot in the head, basically. And if you guys recognize him, if you guys are comic book fans, or you did like at least a little bit of research, that one dude who ended up being the first one getting shot and killed in the movie, spoiler alert, was actually Ra's al Ghul's son. Because I did my research. I obviously knew about Talia, and I actually already knew about Nyssa. I barely knew about Nyssa, but I at least knew she existed. I knew that she was Ra's al Ghul's daughter. That's why when I heard Nyssa got casted early on here in Arrow, I was ecstatic. I was like, yes! Yes! Nyssa! I barely know you, but I know you exist, right? I did research, and I know for a fact that Ra's al Ghul had at least 3 kids that we know of, that at least appear in the comics. Obviously, the main one being Talia, who's like on-again, off-again love interest to Batman. And then there was Nyssa, who was the half-Japanese daughter of Ra's al Ghul, because if I remember in the comics, Ra's al Ghul fell in love with this Japanese woman with the last name Ratko or something like that. You do hear the last name, because when you first see Nyssa in Arrow, she's at an airport, and they're looking at her ID and everything. The last name of Nyssa's actual mother, the Japanese lady, you actually hear the last name in the airport when you first see Nyssa in Arrow. But anyway, I knew Talia and Nyssa have made appearances in the comics, especially Talia. But the son, I forgot his name. He's made appearances every once in a while, and when I first saw him in the Batman animated movie, Son of Batman, I was so happy because you see at least two out of 3 of Ra's al Ghul's known children in one movie, and I was like, hallelujah. I know like he died really quickly in the movie, spoiler alert again, but it's like to see at least 2 of Ra's al Ghul's kids together in media, in some sort of media, was glorified for me. So the fact that I get to see Talia and Nyssa in Arrow, again, seeing 2 of Ra's al Ghul's kids in some sort of media together, it was orgasmic for me practically. I was like, yes! I'm like nerding out. I was geeking out like crazy. I was like, oh my god, 2 of Ra's al Ghul's kids, again, together, on screen. I don't care if it's at a movie. They're still on screen together. Happiness overload, right? So we get the epic Al Ghul daughter fight between Nyssa and Talia, where Nyssa actually gets the upper hand and beats Talia. The cool thing is when she knocked down Talia, she didn't knock her out, but she knocked her down. Of course, Talia's little goons are about to help, and lo and behold, Slade comes out of nowhere, beats and kills the hell out of all those little goons that Talia had there. And then, like, at one point, Nyssa had Talia at sword point, and, Talia's like, go ahead and kill me. You know better than anyone that Dad would want you to kill me. But instead of killing Talia, she knocks her out, and I'm like, done. I know, I'm somewhat disappointed that the fight was kind of short, but I kind of understand that this was the season 5 finale, and there was a lot of stuff they wanted to jam-pack into this season finale episode. But this is an epic fight. It's a fight against the Al Ghul sisters. So I was hoping, I know that you have to jam-pack a lot of stuff into the season finale episode, but you could have at least made the fight between Ra's al Ghul's daughters a little longer. Just saying, but I like the fact that apparently Slade did not betray Oliver, because apparently him knocking out Oliver and feeding him to Black Siren, basically, it was all a ruse to pretty much get him to John, Renee, Dinah, and Quentin so he could give Dinah that that device thing that Curtis made for her powers, basically. That was why he did it. And so Nyssa and Slade get reunited with John, Renee, Dinah, Oliver, and Quentin. And Black Siren shows up with Adrian Chase and a bunch of other of Talia's Goonies. And there's a full-out fight with John, Renee, Dinah, Quentin, Oliver, Slade, Nyssa, Black Siren, Chase, and a bunch of other fools, right? And we get by far one of my other favorite matches that I was looking forward to, besides the Al Ghul sister fight, was the fight with Black Siren versus Black frickin' Canary. I was like, oh, right? This was what I was waiting for. Besides Talia versus Nyssa, I was waiting for Black Siren versus Black Canary. I was like, oh my god, yes, especially when you find out Black Siren was released by frickin' Adrian Chase. I was like, oh my god, please tell me we're getting a Black Canary versus Black Siren. It happened. Oliver versus Chase, obviously. Black Siren versus Black Canary. And then we see John and Renee fighting off against the rest of the goons, as well as Slade. I believe we saw Quentin too, and then like when we saw the epic Canary Cry battle between the two, you see them fighting hand to hand, and then finally they both use their Canary Cries at each other, knocking them both on either side of the hall. Of course, like, you know, unfortunately Dinah, she barely can move. She's like it, but Black Siren got up. She looked like she was gonna pretty much finish her off, and then we see Quentin come out of nowhere and pretty much beat Black Siren in the back of the head, knocking her unconscious. And I was like, damn. And it was just like Nyssa and Talia's fight. I was looking so much forward to it. I was kind of disappointed that it was short, because it was the two fights that I've been wanting to see for so long. And again, I also understand why they had to cut it short, because again, this was the season 5 finale. There's a lot of stuff they had to jam pack into this episode. But these were epic fights, you know? It's like, it's not every day we get to see two of Ra's al Ghul's kids on the screen together, let alone in a fight together, and then also Black Siren versus Black Canary. I mean, come on. But I was disappointed that both fights were short, but I was happy to have them nonetheless. It was funny that Quentin was the one that ends up knocking out Black Siren. I thought that was fucking hilarious. After all that, Oliver is able to, you know, beat down Chase, but unfortunately he's able to escape. And Oliver's like, I'm gonna go after him, right? And he's like, John, I want you to take Renee, Dinah, Quentin, Slade, and Nyssa. I want you to take all of them, and I want you to go meet up with Felicity, Thea, Curtis, and Samantha over by Chase's plane. I'm gonna go after Chase and find my son, right? And, they managed to get to the other party, over to, the plane, but unfortunately, they find out that Chase sabotaged the plane. So, they can't even get on the plane. The plane has been sabotaged by Chase, so they have nowhere to go, right? And, we end up seeing Chase trying to escape through a little speedboat. And Oliver obviously chases after him and manages to get on that boat and ends up fighting with Chase on that boat. And, I am running out of time, so apparently I might have either a 2.5 video or a part 3 video, whatever, but, I'll see you guys in the next video, because I have a lot to say in this one. Just watch. Once I do the Flash season finale one, it's gonna be like 4 videos. Bye, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.